Just the News. I'm Amita Balachandra. In today's bulletin, we talk about Russia-Ukraine crisis, what is happening as far as India's evacuation is concerned, because several students are stuck in Sumy. We also talk about companies that have suspended operations in Russia and how is the world reacting to Russia's attack on Ukraine, because it's day 12. But apart from this, we have a whole lot of stories lined up for you. A horrific case that's come in from Kerala. We also talk about why oil prices have soared and the fact that rupee has hit its lowest when compared to the US dollar. We have all of these stories lined up for you, so stay tuned to the entire bulletin for everything that you need to know as far as today is concerned, not just in the country but across the world. We start off with Russia invading Ukraine. It's day 12. PTI has quoted sources and said that Prime Minister Modi spoke to President Vladimir Putin and conveyed to him the importance of safe evacuation of Indian citizens from the war-torn country's Sumy city at the earliest. Now, over 700 Indian students are currently stranded in Sumy awaiting evacuation. Prime Minister Modi also urged Putin to hold direct talks with the Ukrainian president. Now, he also had a phone conversation with Ukraine's President Zelensky as well. Now, to give you an update on what's going on in Sumy, over the last couple of days, we've seen several SOS messages come in from students saying that there is no food or water left, that they're extremely petrified. As of today, they still await evacuation because we understand the buses have come in, but the evacuation is now put on hold because of security concerns. Now, the delay has left many students distraught because it's the 12th day of Russia's invasion in Ukraine. In the meantime, Union Minister Hardeep Singh Puri, along with the last batch of 6,177 Indian students from Budapest, reached Delhi today. Now, Ukraine and Russia are holding the third round of talks today. This comes amid a temporary ceasefire that was announced by Russia in Ukrainian cities of Sumy, Kiev, Kharkiv and Mariupol, all of which have been badly hit. Now, the Russian Defense Ministry announced that the move was undertaken to open humanitarian corridors for the evacuation of civilians. The two countries had agreed to open humanitarian corridors in the second round of talks, but that has not gone down really well because as far as Sumy is concerned, citizens are still waiting to be evacuated. Now, Russia is currently demanding that Ukraine cease military action, change its constitution to enshrine neutrality. It has a whole lot of demands, and the third round of talks are currently ongoing. Now, there are also reports that while Russia announced ceasefires in 4 cities, reports say that 4 of the 6 proposed routes to safety go to Russia in the east or to Belarus, its key ally, in the north. According to the BBC, Ukraine has condemned this condition as completely immoral. Now, a spokesperson has said, and I quote, "These are citizens of Ukraine. They should have the right to evacuate to the territory of Ukraine," end quote. Now, there's also information that Russia has refused to attend an International Court of Justice hearing where Ukraine is calling for a halt to the invasion. The Russian ambassador in The Hague has indicated that his government did not intend to participate in the proceedings. Now, Ukraine's representative has told the court, and I quote, "The fact Russian seats are empty speaks volumes. They're not here. They are on the battlefield," end quote. Now, both Russia and Ukraine are members of the court and they both signed up to the Genocide Convention. Now, to give you a bit of a context, the Genocide Convention criminalizes genocide and obligates state parties to enforce its prohibition. Now, here's how the world is reacting. The latest update is that Visa, Mastercard and American Express have announced that they will suspend all operations in Russia in protest at its invasion of Ukraine. Now, what does this mean for consumers? Russian banks have currently downplayed the impact, saying that that shoppers will be able to still use the cards for purchases while within Russia, I beg your pardon, until they reach their expiry dates. Now, according to the BBC, Visa, Mastercard or American Express cards issued abroad will no longer work at shops or ATMs in Russia. Also, Netflix and TikTok have suspended most of their services in Russia. Netflix has not specified a reason for the move except to say it reflected, and I quote, circumstances on the ground, end quote. Now, TikTok has said that Russian users of its popular social media app would no longer be able to post new videos or live streams, and that they would also not be able to see videos shared from elsewhere in the world. Now, there are two other accounting firms that have now decided to exit Russia. KPMG and PwC yesterday said that they will no longer have a member firm in Russia due to the country's invasion of Ukraine. Now, according to a report by Reuters, KPMG has said that its Russia and Belarus firm will leave the KPMG network, a move that will affect over 4,500 partners and staff in Russia and Belarus. Meanwhile, from Tuesday, South Korea is going to immobilize any assets held by the Russian central bank in won currency and stop transactions with Russia's central bank. Now, South Korea has announced new penalties as well on key Russian sovereign wealth funds, the National Wealth Fund of the Russian Federation and Russian Direct Investment Fund. China, in the meantime, interestingly, has announced that China's Red Cross will provide humanitarian aid to Ukraine as soon as possible. Now, China has refused to condemn Russia's attack on Ukraine or call it an invasion, while asking Western countries to respect Russia's legitimate security concerns. Moving away from the story now in other news, and this is a disturbing piece of information that's coming in. So before I go any further, trigger warning, because the next news story is extremely disturbing. It comes in from Kerala. A popular Kochi-based tattoo artist was arrested by the Kerala police on Sunday over allegations of rape, sexual assault and molestation made by at least 6 women, all of whom are his former clients. Now, he has now been sent to judicial custody for 14 days. There have been several complaints, one that was posted on Reddit by an 18-year-old girl about what she went through at Infected Tattoo Studio. Now, the woman alleged that she was raped while the artist continued tattooing her with a needle on her spine. The woman, according to the police, has not filed a complaint, but there have been other complaints. Several women have accused Shujish, the owner of that studio, of groping, molesting and sexually assaulting them when they went to get tattoos made by him. Now, Kochi's City Police Commissioner has told NDTV, and I quote, "We will be taking the 164 statements of the complainants starting tomorrow. As of now, we have 6 FIRs registered against the accused, who was initially on the run. All are non-bailable offences, and he surrendered only after he was cornered by the police from all sides." End quote. An update now on the Bajrang Dal member murder case. Karnataka police have invoked sections of the Unlawful Activities Prevention Act 1967 against 10 people arrested in connection with the February 20th murder of a Bajrang Dal member, Harsha, in Karnataka's Shivamogga. Now, Harsha was hacked to death by a group of men with whom he allegedly had disputes since 2016. Also in the news, on to some politics right now. Election Commission has announced today that elections for 13 Rajya Sabha seats will be held on the 31st of March this year. Now, the seats are in 6 states, 5 in Punjab, 3 in Kerala, 2 in Assam, and 1 each in Himachal Pradesh, Tripura, and Nagaland. An update now on UP elections. In the 7th and last phase of UP elections, a voter turnout of 54.18% was recorded, and this was until 5 p.m. today. The votes will be counted on the 10th of March. Moving on to business news, starting off with oil prices, which have surged to a 13-year high. Brent crude, the global oil benchmark, has spiked above $139 per barrel in Asia trade before easing to below $130. Now, this is the highest level since 2008, after the US said that it was discussing a potential embargo on Russian supplies with its allies. Now, it must be noted, however, that the impact of this price rise has not yet been passed on the Indian consumer yet. Also in the news, the Indian Rupee hit its lowest level against the US dollar. The rupee tanked 84 paise to close at its lifetime low of 77.01 rupees against the US dollar. Now, the rupee's previous low was at 76.91 rupees in April 2020. Also, the Russia-Ukraine crisis has continued to drastically affect the market. Sensex fell by 1,400 points. Nifty ended below 15,900. Now, auto, bank, capital goods, FMCG, PSPU bank and realty fell 2 to 5%. In Asia, all markets ended in the red. Also in the news, the CBI on Sunday arrested former CEO and MD of NSE, Chitra Ramkrishna. She was accused of grave lapses at India's largest stock market, including sharing confidential information with an individual she dubbed a Himalayan yogi. Now, the agency had arrested NSE's former group operating officer and Ramkrishna's deputy, Anand Subramanian, last month. Now, SEBI has charged Ms. Ramkrishna, who was the MD and CEO of the NSE from April 2013 to December 2016, and others with alleged governance lapses in the appointment of Mr. Subramanian and his outsized promotion. That brings us to the end of this bulletin. Thank you so much for watching. Do let us know what changes you'd like on this bulletin. We gave you a quick wrap of what's to come, at least in this bulletin. Tell us if you like that and if you would like us to continue to do so. Thank you so much for watching. Good night.